Good Friday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. Hopefully, everyone has had a fantastic Friday. I am your meteorologist, Jess Peterson, and let's go on and talk about the weather for your Friday evening going into your future. First off, before we even get into talking about just our regular routine, I just want to go on and give everyone a congratulations because we are done with the week and going into the weekend. Let's go on and give ourselves a huge round of applause. Made it finally, and so we are about to start off the weekend. Obviously, with probably some people start tonight, some people tomorrow. But let's go on and continue past that. If you have not hit the like button or the subscribe button yet, make sure you go and do so. Also, make sure you go and hit the share button. Share it with all of the people that you know, rather it be, um, anybody like a friend, a family member, anything like that, as we are trying to get as much people in here as possible. And so, sometimes we have up to around 15, 16 people, and some days we only have like 5 or 6, but hopefully we can get higher, higher consistently. But let's go on now and get started with the weather for tonight first, and then we'll talk about our future. Good Friday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. Hopefully, you want to have a fantastic Friday. I am your meteorologist, Jess Peterson, and let's go on and talk about the weather for our Friday evening going into our future. Looking at the radar right now, nothing really going on for the entire state of South Carolina. But if we go in and look at the winter weather radar, we do have a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot of stuff going on. Look at all these tornado warnings in Kentucky, going on in Indiana as well. Severe weather going all the way down into Texas and Arkansas as well. Even also up into Ohio, Michigan receiving some severe weather, some rain going on in Minnesota as well as even Wisconsin and Illinois up there instead of New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine getting some rain, and even Montana receiving some rain as well. So a lot going on. You can see all the severe weather that's going on all the way from Indiana all the way down into Texas, or honestly, I should say Michigan, because there's even some going on up there as well. As we go on now to our cloud cover right now is actually showing to be pretty heavy, especially up there inside of the upstate of South Carolina. The Midlands overall cloudy over there. PD also pretty cloudy. The least cloudy region has to be the Low Country though, especially near the inland coastal regions. But overall, I mean, you can see all of this cloud cover not really in the Low Country of South Carolina. You're really not really seeing too much. Going to our current cloud cover going into the future, as you go on and push this forward right here, you can see that there is that cloud cover will continue to expand, and then as we get into tomorrow morning, cloud cover will continue to go on inside of tomorrow afternoon. Going into our current temperature, 79 in Columbia, 79 in St. Matthews, as well as Orangeburg, 77 in Holly Hill, as well as 77 in Moncks Corner, 77 in Somerville, as well as 77 in Allendale, 77 in Georgetown, as well as Myrtle Beach and Conway, 77 in Loris and Marion, as well as 79 in Dillon. We also do have 77 in Walterboro, 79 in Hampton, as well as 79 in Allendale, 79 in Aiken, a lot of 79s, and 77 in Greenwood, and even up there in Anderson, which I'm pretty sure we already said Anderson. Up there, like 75 in Greenville and Pickens, as well as Clemson, 77 inside of Spartanburg, and 77 again in Rock Hill. So a lot of 75, 77s, and 79s as you go into tonight. As you go into your low temperatures, though, not really too much different. Honestly, 71 in Greenville, 72 Spartanburg, Rock Hill, 75 in Columbia, 76 in Charleston and Shiraz, 74 in Florence, 72 in Moncks Corner, as well as 73 in Georgetown, 75 in Myrtle Beach, as well as Hilton Head Island as well. So even though we have those low temperatures or those temperatures now are already, kind of high, they're not really going to drop any further than that. As I can see right now, if I go on and check out how hot it is at my house right now, it is still saying that it is around, let's see, 81 degrees, and it feels like 87 outside right now. And just want to make sure it is 9 o'clock p.m. It is 9 o'clock p.m., and it is 81 degrees, and it feels like 87. So, just want you to let that sink in real quick. As I just want to let that sink in. Just want to let that sink in real quick. And so actually that might mean that these temperatures right here are actually maybe a bit lower than it actually might be. Yeah, that seems a bit more accurate right here. 70s and then 80s down there. Yeah, that seems a lot more accurate. Going into our forecast precipitation for tonight, though, around 100th of an inch to a 10th of an inch for Anderson, Lawrence, Greenville, Spartanburg, as well as Walterboro, maybe even the Tri-County region of Dorchester, Berkeley, and Charleston County. That goes from 8 p.m. tonight into 8 p.m. tomorrow. Again, not much at all, if any. Maybe just like a isolated shower or two may come by, but again, we're not really expecting much. Going on into our next little area of interest, that is obviously severe weather. Friday, May the 16th, 2025. We do have a marginal risk still in effect for Spartanburg and Greenville, and this threat will mainly be like late tonight, so probably going even into early tomorrow morning. So even though it is looking like that they might keep this overnight, that's when that severe weather threat will most likely happen. And as you go into tomorrow, not tomorrow, well, yes, tomorrow, Saturday, May 17th, 2025, marginal risk of severe weather for pretty much the entire state, except for some regions up there just to the north of Greenville and Spartanburg as well. But overall, everyone has a risk. Now, what is it for? You may ask. It's really going to be a wind and a hail threat. Really not really a chance of a tornado threat. Also the same thing for tonight as well. A hail and a wind threat. 40 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts with some small hail, and then also maybe some isolated 1 inch in diameter hail is possible with some storms as we go into tonight and tomorrow. And then as you go into Sunday, May the 18th, 2025, a marginal risk of severe weather is also in effect. Aiken, Charleston, Hilton Head Island, pretty much the entire low country, down through Allendale, and also like places like over there near Barnwell, as well as Edgefield as well. So a lot of places are inside of this marginal risk as we go into Sunday. Now, past that, not really a whole lot. Let's talk about excessive rainfall, since we're here on the topic of severe weather. As we start off into tonight, with those storms that move in late tonight, definitely would not be surprised one bit if we saw a little threat for, maybe some minor flooding. Now, it's really up here instead of like the very northern portion or the very northern upstate of South Carolina. But overall, even though it says that not a lot of rain is expected, I do think that the Weather Prediction Center thinks a little bit different. But I can kind of see where the totals are a bit higher once you get more into the North Carolina-Georgia border where all three states connect. And then as you continue moving it forward, though, you're not really seeing anything else. It's looking like it's past that. It's going to be fine. Let's go on now and look at our models. So starting off tonight, 9 o'clock p.m. as you go on and push this forward, you can already see the thunderstorms that we're talking about with maybe some severe weather added in with it. And you can see 5 to 6 a.m. That's what I was just talking about. And that's going to push through, and it's going to cause some shower activity by around 8 to 9 a.m. in the lower upstate as well as the upper Midlands of South Carolina. It's going to fade out by the time you get to the low country by around 10 to 11 a.m. And the Midlands are still going to get a little bit of a dose, and this is kind of what they're talking about. If I was to assume why they had a little bit of a rain threat, because of these little showers right here going into the late morning hours by around 10 to 11, maybe even 12 p.m. as well. But after that, it's looking dry, but not quite yet, because we get into around 7 to 8 p.m. Look at that, some more rain popping off just off the coast of the low country of South Carolina, even by 9 o'clock p.m. when we go live tomorrow night. there will be some shower and potential thunderstorm activity that goes on as you go into that Saturday night. And you see these rain and thunderstorm bands here going into like late morning hours again. That also has a chance to become severe. I mean, it does not look as impressive, but like even as it does, like right here, this is 3 a.m. tonight. As it pushes through, you see just how weak it gets, and as you push that forward even more, going into Sunday morning, you can start to see some thunderstorm development over here on the South Carolina-Georgia border. But we'll talk more about that tomorrow night. Let's go on now and talk about our long-term future. So starting off here on May the 18th at 2 p.m. where we just were, some rainfall continuing as we go into around May the 19th, May the 20th as well. The 21st and the 22nd also may bring some rainfall as well, beneficial for sure. And then once we get to around the 23rd, the 24th, the 25th, it's going to get dry. The 26th and through the 28th is also going to be a bit of an active period. And then now we're getting so far into May that, look at that, 372 hours out. We're into June at this point. So we're not going to go that far. We'll talk more about June in depth once we get into June on that Sunday, I believe. June is on a Sunday. June 1st is on a Sunday. It is. So we'll talk more about that, when we get closer and closer and closer. But right now, it's looking like it's still going to be active. We will have some dry patches. We will have some quiet patches overall, but overall, it's going to still be on the active side. Going into temperature anomalies, I just want to show this real quick as we go on and continue through this weekend. It's still going to remain warmer than average. You can see all the way through here. I mean, temperatures will still be in the 90s for a lot of us. And as we get into around May the 18th and the 19th, still looking like it could potentially still be warmer than average. But as we get into this May the 22nd right here, look at this huge cool down right here. A huge cool down as we go into like May the 23rd, May the 24th, but then the 25th will come in, get a bit warm again, going all the way into late May until finally around May the 28th and the 29th, it starts to cool down, even into June as well, which means we might have a bit of a cold start to June, a cool start to June. And one thing that I want to look at is the Climate Prediction Center and see what they have to say. As you go through the next 6 to 10 days, temperature-wise, you can see that overall it will be below average inside of South Carolina as we move through May the 22nd through May the 26th as well. It will be below average temperatures, and that's what we were just looking at. Even into precipitation as well. Not a great sign, but below average precipitation is expected May the 22nd through the 26th. And as you go through the next 8 to 14 days, still below average. And then even as you go into our next from the 24th to the 30th, still that rainfall is still near normal for most of us. But now let's go on and talk about the crazy score. If you have no idea what the crazy score is pretty much a score that we use to just document how crazy the weather is inside of South Carolina. It's really just something that I do not create. That is something that I do not create. It's completely made by a bot. Made by a bot. It's not made by me, but it does go off of the National Weather Service forecast. And right now it's at a 28. It's inside the mild category. Not really too surprising, I guess. As we get into obviously later tonight, it's gonna still be dry. It's not really going to rain again until probably going into, I'd honestly say around that like early morning time frame. That was probably around like 7 a.m. ish. So but past that, nothing really else going on tonight. There will be light and variable winds overnight. Obviously, I'm not going live for that. It will stay muggy though, and it will obviously still be warm as well. Humidity will still be up high as well. Let's go on now and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Starting off first with Miss Tolliver, who says, "Good evening. I'm driving tonight, but I'm tuning in and looking forward to hearing your forecast. I can smell rain. I can smell the rain outside. Well, right now there is no rain going on in the Low Country at all. So honestly, I'm not quite sure. I never had that ability. I don't know how people can smell rain like that. I've never had that. I know some people were just talking to me about that, about how they just sniff the air and then they're just like, oh yeah, it's gonna rain today. I don't know how y'all do that, but I can't do that. I wish I could, but I can't. But right now, I mean, it's dry. I mean, yeah, I mean, you may have like a little shower out here, going on like off the coast of the Low Country, if that's what you're talking about, but nothing going on in the Low Country. That says, "Good evening, Joseph. I hope all is well. Are you ready for the weekend? What are your plans?" Just pretty much the normal stuff. Nothing really out of the ordinary that's happening. Everything else is pretty normal. That's what's going on this weekend. Um, just some outside stuff, and that's pretty much it. Mr. Anthony says, "Good evening. Your forecast for Norfolk was accurate. It rained like you predicted it, and I am glad that I was prepared for it." That is no problem at all. Love to hear the feedback that comes back from the audience as well, rather if I was accurate or if I was not accurate at all. So make sure that you do give me some sort of feedback on the forecast that I do give. But usually, all of them are usually positive, which is a great thing. So that's it there. Let's talk about San Antonio, Raleigh, and Philadelphia. Starting off with San Antonio first. Low temperatures tonight, 77. High temperatures tomorrow at 98. Low temperatures tomorrow night at 76. No precipitation expected tonight or tomorrow during the day. But tomorrow night, it's a miracle. Slight chance of showers, a 20 to 30% chance of receiving a shower as you go into tomorrow. And I know it's been, honestly, it probably has felt like a long time since y'all gotten some rain. But it definitely do need it. You're still inside of that heavy drought. So definitely you do need that rain for sure. No severe weather is expected for San Antonio though. And in terms of excessive rainfall, potentially tomorrow, one of those showers could potentially drop a lot of rain, as you're in a kind of like a minor flooding zone as you go into tomorrow. And other than that, that's it there. Going on into Raleigh next. Raleigh, low temperatures tonight 71, high temperatures tomorrow at 90, low temperatures tomorrow night at 66. No precipitation tonight, chance of thunderstorms tomorrow during the day and tomorrow night. With severe weather, Raleigh is indeed inside of a marginal risk of severe weather for tonight. Really just a wind threat, 40 to 60 miles per hour, and tomorrow as well. Again, a wind and a hail threat, so some isolated large hail, and then obviously those isolated wind gusts as well. And then in terms of excessive rainfall as well, nothing really to talk about there. And then Philadelphia being the last region, low temperatures tonight 66, high temperatures tomorrow 85, low temperatures tomorrow night at 61. There is showers are likely tonight, chance of thunderstorms tomorrow, and then a slight chance of thunderstorms tomorrow night as well. And then in terms of severe weather, so a marginal risk of severe weather for tomorrow, that is for wind, most likely, 40 to 60 miles per hour. And in terms of excessive rainfall, I'm not really seeing much at all as you go into tonight, tomorrow. Yeah, it's looking like overall it's going to be no excessive rainfall or anything like that. And so that's going to wrap this up. One more thing before we go. Let's talk about the news in terms of what's going on throughout the entire United States and weather news, not any other news. Active spring patterns across the center of our nation with several episodes of severe weather and heavy rainfall expected into next week. The potential for very large hail, long track tornadoes, severe gusts, frequent cloud to ground lightning strikes, and flash flooding are all cannot be ruled out. Furthermore, dangerous early season heat wave continues for the Gulf states into early next week as well. So definitely, I mean, even we're having our little mini, I wouldn't call it a heat wave because, it's not, I mean, we've seen heat like this before, but we have not seen heat like this in a while. So definitely make sure that if you are outside, or if you know anybody in the Gulf Coast or inside of a Gulf Coast state, let them know that obviously it's going to get hot. And also, with the severe weather as well, Western Kentucky, Indiana, Tennessee, as well as the Boot Hill of Missouri and northeastern Arkansas is also inside of a moderate risk for mainly a tornado threat and a wind threat. That's going to be definitely the main threat. Even a hail threat could be pretty high as well. And that go all the way from Michigan, like we said, all the way down into Texas and over into North Carolina and Virginia and Pennsylvania and even Western New York also has a little chance as well. Some frost going on or some freezing going on in western North Dakota. Some critical fire weather going on in the Four Corners region with some wind going on out in the Sierra region as well. And that's pretty much all that's going on for just in terms of the entire U.S. So let me check the chat one more time. I don't see anything else, so I'm going to assume that that is all. If you have anything to say, I'll be here for about like another 5 minutes or so. I can respond inside of the chat. But I will be back tomorrow morning with your Saturday morning forecast update. Everyone have a fantastic Friday evening.